what I'm saying is, I think I spent 2.5 hours total on the deal, and I never laid a dime out. I didn't do anything. And that deal was, what was it, 14, 16, so roughly over 50,000, but what's up, guys? It's Rick in here with Flip with Rick, and I want to share some tips and tricks for you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rick Ginn, and I run the Flip with Rick. I have an entire university dedicated with an emphasis on marketing, because marketing is the most important thing you can do to make your business highly productive and highly profitable. You can scale all you want, but if you ain't got deals, you don't have a business. So make sure you focus on marketing. It's the most important part. So I thought I'd share a little insight on real estate. So I've been doing this 15 years, and I thought, what is the easiest deal I have ever done? And I'm going to bring it up. Actually, this was probably, I want to say it was 2013 or 14. This is crazy. So I initially had a motivated seller contact me, went to look at the house, covered in cats, riddled, absolutely. It was horrific. Probably one of the worst 5 houses I've ever seen. You guys have seen. I've probably viewed, I don't know, probably 15, 20,000 houses total on all parts of real estate. And for me to say it's top 5, it's pretty bad. It was covered in cat urine. It was so bad it was burning my eyes. I had to leave the property. I told her I would make an offer probably just based on the land value. And that I didn't want to buy it. I mean, bottom line, I didn't want it. I don't like to buy massive problems because when it affects people's health and the well-being of animals and stuff, there's always easier deals to do out there. So as a house, I want to say it was in Port St. Lucie. Houses were trading for like 115, 125 at the time. The house is so bad, I honestly said, listen, I'm not going to offer more than land value, because I don't think there's a buyer in the world that put up with this amount of bullshit. So I offered them $12,000, literally 12 grand, assuming I'm just going to get kicked out. So that's it. Like 3 weeks go by, nothing. I think I called up on like one message, and her daughter finally called me back, asked me to meet her at a Starbucks, and said, my mom's dying if she stays in this property. All the animal feces stuff are going to kill her. She goes, what's your offer? I goes, 12,000. She goes, that's kind of low. So if you could up that offer just a little bit. I go, if I up the offer, will you go ahead and do it today? So I believe we agreed at $14,000. Now, these are houses selling for $125,000. It's a complete train wreck. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I going to do with this house? $14,000. I'm thinking, what? Maybe $5,000 or $10,000. And guys, I'm not frowning on $5,000 or $10,000. It's just, to me, that's too much work for me to do. I'm not one of these guys going to sit around, run around with my head cut off for $5,000 or $10,000. It's so much easier to make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. But I'm not going to turn away free money. So they were ecstatic with my offer. So I immediately went over, and it was actually right next door to my title company. So I went over to my title company, and I brought over the contract. And so I'm waiting in the room for my usual girl, and she's actually meeting with a lawyer, I guess, that was involved in a closing. And so as he's going out, she introduced me to him, and he says, you're that guy that flips houses. So we sat down and talking, and he goes, you got anything available? I go, well, I just got this contract on a property. Because at that point I did all my own sales. And he goes, man, I'm dying for a fixer and flipper, like a small 3.2. I'm just like, yeah, I got the perfect thing for you. I go, but just, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. It's like nasty. It's cat infested. He goes, I'm going to make you an offer. I tried everything to have him not buy it. Now, keep in mind, it's a lawyer, so I just assume he's going to give me a hard time, an inspection. He wrote me. We actually did the closing in 24 hours. I want to say, I got to go back and look at my notes, but I remember the address like it was yesterday. I sold it to him for $62,000 I think I double closed it just to cover my butt because he was an attorney, but he knew what was wrong with the house. He knew exactly what my contract price, and he had no problem. What I'm saying is, I think I spent 2.5 hours total on the deal, and I never laid a dime out. I didn't do anything. And that deal was, what was it, 1460, so roughly over 50,000, but it was zero effort, and I sold it in 3 days. And that constantly reminds me of how we all try to fight what real estate is. Honestly, if you stick to your guns and you have a philosophy to be a complete real estate investor, not a one-hit wonder. Now, I could have easily assigned that property for 10 or 15 grand. I probably would have felt wonderful about it. But the guy made me an offer, and it was an offer. It was so good I couldn't refuse it. I know that sounds like a Godfather scene, but that was it. I remember just going home telling my wife, I go, man, I literally just made like 50 grand and I didn't do anything. And that's why I love this business. They had a house that was a massive problem. I mean, massive. And then I found somebody at the right opportunity. I was in the right place at the right time, and we matched it up perfectly. And he literally had to buy something in the next 5 days. And it just fit perfectly. I even made him sign extra disclosures. It's a cat piss house. I would knock it down. It's a piece of shit. And he signed everything. So, stop passing judgment on what you think is good, what you think is bad. You do need to have a good understanding of your market, because if not, you will give away and leave money on the table. So, pretty cool tidbit. Just in all my years, that was the easiest one I did from head to toe. I've gotten stuff under contract easier, and I've sold stuff easier, but I've never had one that came together. It was like the perfect day. Almost felt like retiring after that day. It was so good. And once again, it's another like 50K deal. I'm not opposed to doing small deals. I'm just opposed to the grind and the effort it takes. I'll give you an example. We had a deal come up, I think like a month ago. Hoarders houses. I'm not a big fan of hoarders houses because they're disgusting and I hate getting near them. But we were like $3,000 apart, and I just held my guns because the house is just a piece of junk. And could I have made $3,000-$4,000? I could, but I know I can take that money, I can take that time and my resources, and I can go make 30 grand. So anytime you say no to a deal, it's not the worst case scenario in the world. You actually free yourself up to go fulfill another opportunity. If you obligate yourself to a deal that's only going to make $3,000 or $4,000, you've become a glorified real estate agent, and I'm not in this business. I am not impressed when people say they did 10 or 15 deals. If somebody tells you they do 10 or 15 deals, ask them to open up their books and show what's the profit level. Explore it, find out. Who gives a crap if you do 10 deals or one deal? I don't know. Actually, the guy who does one deals, he's typically smarter. So there's also a guy on the West Coast. His name's Jason Boozy. And this guy does like one deal like a quarter, but makes like a couple $100 grand, if not $300 or $400 grand. And I love that mindset. And then people always pass judgment on him because he's not doing 15 deals. Who gives a shit? You know, guys, it's all about profit level and having time for yourself. I don't spend like 10 hours a week combing over KPI numbers, deep analysis on marketing reports. I have my key KPI numbers. I keep an eye on them. And man, I go out and have